Barcelona are set to spend a staggering €104 million on a superstar forward by the time his contract ends. At the same time, 4 top wingers are reportedly desperate to join Barcelona this summer as the club continues to rebuild under Hansi Flick. And finally, after years of waiting, Barca have finally convinced La Liga to consider one of their long-standing requests, a decision that could change their financial strategy moving forward. Stay tuned as we dive into these 3 major developments shaking up the world of FC Barcelona. According to a recent report from Sport, Robert Lewandowski's contract with Barcelona is far more lucrative than previously believed, amounting to a staggering €104 million gross over 4 years. When the Polish striker arrived in 2022, it was widely reported that he had taken a pay cut compared to the €12 million net he was earning annually at Bayern Munich. While it is true that his first season at Barca saw him earn €10 million net, the overall structure of the contract reveals a substantial salary increase over time. A detailed breakdown has revealed just how much Robert Lewandowski is earning at Barcelona, showing the full structure of his massive salary package. In his debut season, the net figure was slightly lower, but from the second year onwards, his earnings rose significantly. This past season, Lewandowski earned a fixed net salary of €16 million, and for the upcoming 2025-26 campaign, he is set to earn €13 million net. So far, Barcelona have already paid him €79.4 million gross in fixed wages and bonuses, and that figure will rise further by the end of his deal. Lewandowski also receives additional income through performance-related bonuses written into his contract. He earns €600,000 gross for winning La Liga, and that figure increases to €800,000 if the team also wins the Copa del Rey. If Barcelona wins both La Liga and the Champions League, Lewandowski earns a €1 million bonus, while winning all 3 major trophies in a single season would see him pocket a total of €2 million in bonuses. Barcelona are showing no signs of holding back financially, continuing to spend boldly despite their economic challenges. Although it was initially believed that Barcelona were saving on his salary compared to Bayern, the reality is that the personal income tax rate in Spain is slightly higher, forcing the club to spend more to meet the agreed net figures. This means the true financial burden on Barcelona is considerably larger than it appears at first glance. Despite the significant outlay Lewandowski has delivered, he was the top scorer in La Liga during his first season and played a vital role in securing 2 league titles, 2 Spanish Super Cups, and a Copa del Rey during his time with the Catalan Giants. However, with 1 year left on his deal and the club still under financial strain, there is growing debate within the club over whether continuing to pay such high wages is sustainable. 4 wingers are extremely eager to sign for Barcelona this summer, with all of them pushing hard for a move to Camp Nou. No fewer than 4 big-name wingers from across the continent are nothing short of desperate to seal a move to Spain with Barcelona this summer. That's according to Mundo Deportivo, who have this weekend provided an insight into the situation. It is of course common knowledge at this point that Barcelona are on the lookout for reinforcements out wide with a view to next season. To date, a whole host of players in turn have been tipped as potential arrivals in Catalonia's capital over the weeks ahead. And as alluded to above, if the latest word stemming from the media is anything to go by, then 4 such stars are equally keen on the prospect of linking up with Hansi Flick's squad. Luis Diaz, Nico Williams, Marcus Rashford and Ivan Perisic all dream of playing for Barca and are desperate to wear the Blaugrana shirt. The casting is underway. As things stand, it is Liverpool standout Diaz who remains the favored target on the part of Deco and the Camp Nou board. Since 2020, FC Barcelona have faced problems with La Liga's financial fair play regulations, which have significantly limited their capability to make their desired signings from the market. First, it was the COVID-19 pandemic that decreased their income, while after the end of the pandemic, they had to move away from the Camp Nou, which also negatively impacted their profits. In the last few years, the Catalans have successfully lowered their expenses, and currently, their wage bill represents only 57% of their total income. This percentage stood at 74% before the pandemic, and at 98% in the first year after COVID. La Liga's current FFP rule. Meanwhile, the Blaugranes are also making efforts to reduce their expenses. However, one stumbling block that they face in this endeavor is that La Liga also counts the budget of women's football, youth football and regional teams towards fair play. For quite a long time, Barcelona have been requesting the league authorities to these expenses should not be considered along with the expenses of the first team, as it makes it even harder for them to meet the FFP requirements. Barcelona convinced La Liga to consider their request. In this regard, Mundo Deportivo reports that the Blaugranes have had a minor success as they have finally convinced La Liga to at least consider their request. Even if accepted, this is not going to be implemented from the next season, but still, it gives hope to clubs like Barcelona, who have a prominent women's team and youth teams, that the expenses of these teams will finally be separated from those of the first team, which will help them meet their FFP requirements more easily. However, till the time that La Liga makes a decision on this matter, the Catalans will have to balance their numbers according to existing regulations. In this regard, their return to the Spotify Camp Nou can help matters significantly. It's clear, Barcelona's summer is shaping up to be historic. From financial pressure tied to a €104 million superstar contract, to top talents begging for a move to Camp Nou, the club remains one of football's biggest attractions. With La Liga finally starting to listen to Barca's financial concerns, the path is slowly opening for a more flexible and ambitious transfer strategy. If you love Barca transfer drama, don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on the to never miss an update. As the club works hard to bring in a new winger, internal pressure is building, and there's now a major condition Barcelona must meet before closing any deal. Meanwhile, their priority target has shown true passion and loyalty, rejecting a multi-million euro offer just to keep his dream of playing for Barcelona alive. Don't miss this explosive update on the club's transfer situation and what's really happening behind the scenes. According to a fresh update from Mundo Deportivo, the internal debate at Barcelona surrounding the signing of Nico Williams is growing louder and more complex by the day. While the 22-year-old winger has shown clear interest in joining the Catalan club and even had his agent, Felix Tinta, meet with sporting director Deco last Friday in Barcelona, doubts remain strong within the club hierarchy. Barcelona are actively looking to reinforce the squad this summer, particularly on the wings, but the path to bringing in a high-profile player like Nico is riddled with contradictions and complications. Sources within the club admit that there is no unanimous agreement on whether pursuing the athletic club winger is the right move, especially considering what unfolded last summer and the financial realities they are still grappling with today. Issues in signing Nico Williams. While Nico's desire to wear the Barca shirt is no longer in question, the real issue lies in financing the operation. Athletic Club have made it clear that they will not entertain negotiations and they will only accept the activation of the player's release clause, which, including the consumer price index adjustment, would cost around €64 million. On top of that, the clause must be paid in full upfront, a condition that presents a major financial hurdle for a club still recovering economically and already having committed over €25 million for goalkeeper Joan Garcia. Need more sales. What remains clear is whether it is Nico or another winger, no major signing will be possible unless significant player sales occur. The club has made it a point to communicate that any transfer of such financial weight must be preceded by an exit that replenishes their funds. The interest in Nico has not gone away, and the player himself is reportedly willing to wait. However, the next few weeks could be decisive. Without a key departure, Barcelona may once again find themselves admiring the winger from afar, unable to act on their interest due to constraints that are as financial as they are strategic. Barcelona's top target has turned down a huge multi-million euro offer from another club to follow his dream of playing at Camp Nou. According to an update from Mundo Deportivo, Luis Diaz is doing everything in his power to secure a move to Barcelona this summer, even pausing his contract renewal negotiations with Liverpool. The Colombian winger has made it clear that his dream is to wear the Blaugrana shirt, and he recently rejected a lucrative offer from another club in favor of waiting for Barca. It is worth noting that with Joan Garcia's signing already completed, the club has now shifted their focus to bolstering the left wing. Sporting director Deco has been working on several names, but Luis Diaz sits right at the top of the list. Other contenders include Nico Williams of Athletic Club and Manchester United's Marcus Rashford, while free agent Ivan Perisic remains a wild-card option for Hansi Flick if conditions align. Luis Diaz has emerged as Barcelona's top transfer priority, as the club focuses on strengthening their attack with his signing. Among these targets, Diaz stands out not only for his profile as a right-footed attacker but also for his sheer determination to join Barcelona. A lifelong fan of the club inspired by his father, Diaz has shown strong personal interest in the move. In a recent interview he admitted, "We are talking to clubs," and although he did not name Barcelona, it was seen internally as a clear hint towards his intentions. The 28-year-old winger feels undervalued at Liverpool, especially in light of the renewal offer presented to him, which he has now placed on hold. Barcelona are fully aware of the entire situation and are closely monitoring every detail behind the scenes. His decision to reject a multi-million-pound offer elsewhere to keep the door open for a move to the Camp Nou speaks volumes about his commitment. Within Barcelona, the message is being received loud and clear that Diaz is ready to make sacrifices to become a part of the new project under Flick. However, turning desire into reality won't be simple. Liverpool are expected to demand a substantial fee, possibly north of €80 million, which could make negotiations difficult for a Barca side still recovering financially. Despite this, the Catalan club is encouraged by the player's stance and sees his willingness to push for the move as a major advantage heading into talks. It's clear, Barcelona's path to signing a new winger isn't easy. With internal demands and financial limits, the club must act wisely to secure their future stars. But the dream is alive. The fact that a top talent has turned down big money just to wear the Barca jersey shows how powerful the club's name still is. Stay locked in for more updates and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the for the latest on Barca's transfer saga.